the housing market disaster just got worse.
You're not looking at facts, you're not looking at data.
The biggest argument that everybody keeps saying, oh, real estate can't go down because inventory is limited. Oh yeah?
There's that much shortage, it's impossible to deduce in a logical mind that has a long track record and is looking at data and is not working on feelings that the housing market's going to crash.
The same argument that is made that, oh, housing can't fall, it won't fall, it'll continue to rise, is one that increasingly seems unlikely.
Oh yeah, house prices are going to crash, Ramsey. You don't know what you're talking about. Honey, I have this thing called perspective.
Prices will come down.
The house is not going to go down.
Who will be right? You have Dave Ramsey, who is a seasoned financial advisor as well as finance talk show host who has spent years and years advising you and me on these clips on how to spend our money, how to invest wisely, and how we do this over the long term and make money, and use the tips that he gives to be financially secure. Versus MeetKevin, a finance real estate YouTuber who has absolutely blown up on the scene over the past 18 to 24 months, who is a licensed broker in the state of California, has been a licensed contractor as well as a mortgage broker in the state of California. He has the perspective that prices are going to go down because of the information we are seeing as well as the data we are collecting, mainly having to do with interest rates because of what the Fed is doing. Let's break down each of these guys' points to see what data they are pulling to back up their point of view, as well as what money they will potentially make because of that point of view. Before we get started in this video, if you would like and subscribe, that would help out this channel so much. I come out with weekly market updates as well as informational videos like this every single week, and it really helps us out. Thanks so much. Let's get into it. Dave has basically come out and said real estate prices are not going to come down. Why he believes this? Well, it's because of the data that he's pulling from the shortage of inventory that we have.
There's a 5 million shortfall of housing units.
So we have a shortage of houses, and that's why it became such a seller's market over the past 2 years. And because of that shortage is why we had prices go way up. And what he's saying is there's still a shortage in houses, but now there's an external force coming in, which is the Fed raising the interest rates, which makes housing less affordable, which is becoming a much more equal market rather than being skewed to one side or the other. And it was very much skewed towards the seller side. And Dave goes into this point in his video, which he was saying is it was like an auction style housing market, which is not normal at all. What Dave is saying is things are going to go towards a more normal market. I believe we're still under 40 days of active days on market still with this inventory. And what that shows is a normal market, according to Dave, is around 90 days on market. So he's saying people have seen over the past 2 years a red hot housing market, auction style, selling way over and above ask. You know, after 7 hours, you have 42 people submitting their offers on this house, and that is not normal. What these interest rates are doing is it's bringing it back to a normal selling market. We've had an uptick in inventory because it was so low for so long, and that is what is going to happen is we're going to return to a more normal and medium to medium slow housing market. He doesn't think housing prices are going to drop. He thinks the percentage-wise year-over-year gain on houses is going to drop dramatically. So we saw 30% last year. He thinks we're going to see more of like a steady, 5%. 3%, 2%, instead of having these huge numbers of 30% year-over-year growth. On the other side, we have MeetKevin coming in and saying, I'm collecting data from all these different sources, and it shows that we are going to see prices drop. He is so committed to this point of view that he has sold over $20 million of his personal real estate because he thinks prices are going to drop dramatically.
I decided to sell almost all of my rental properties. In fact, I'm honored to say that as of today, we have absolutely 0 tenants. That means we went from over $20 million in real estate to still having some real estate left, but no tenants.
He thinks this because inventory is going up. As inventory is going up, mortgage rates are going up as well. So he thinks Inventory going up at the same time as mortgage rates going up is not a good thing. People are panic selling, people like investors. We're seeing specifically in the Phoenix market, almost half of the houses that are on the market are vacant. What does that mean? It means more than likely they weren't lived in by the owner, so they don't have any tenants in them, so they're completely empty, they're vacant, and they're on the market. MeetKevin thinks that we're gonna see a stagnation of inventory, so we're gonna see a lot more inventory sit on the market for longer, as people are now going to want to sell because they want to take advantage of this market, and at the same time interest rates are going to be going up right at the wrong time. So with all these factors, he thinks that the housing market is actually going to come down, and he points to people like major housing builders such as Lennar Homes saying, we're having a much harder time finding people to buy these homes because of this financing. We're having to get very aggressive with our financing strategies because you can finance your house through these companies. They're having to get very aggressive with that to get people into the homes. What that means is like buying down rates, and what that does is it basically you can spend money to make your interest rate lower and basically pay that up front to make it lower. Kevin does believe that prices will come down. He doesn't say about how much. He doesn't say, it's going to crash like crazy. He basically is saying that prices are going to come down just because of the affordability factor as well as interest rates going up. He points out that people are going to be renting more now that it's going to be less obtainable to buy, and because of that, people are going to be renting more, meaning rents are going to start increasing because of supply and demand. There's going to be more demand for rentals because they're not buying now, and because they're renting, those prices are going to go up. And what does that do? Well, inflation, 33% of the inflation number is based off of rental prices, specifically a thing called owner equivalent rents, which lags a little bit. So he's basically saying as they raise interest rates, it's going to cause more people to rent rather than buy, causing rent to go up, causing inflation to go up. What he is saying is the Fed is doing something that's counterintuitive to actually what will lower inflation because of how heavily weighted owner equivalent rents is within the inflation equation. Kevin has a 5-step system in order to be in the right position to take advantage of the market if it does fall. His first point is to get educated. Well, how does this benefit him if we get educated? Well, he is selling a course, of course, right? He is a course seller, and so he's going to make money off of you and I buying a course to try to educate ourselves on the market. So that's his first point. His second point, that you could take advantage of shorting the market. He really believes that the market's going down. So he said this is not financial advice, but you can short the market within the stock market as well as home builders like Lennar, like we've talked about. His third point is to raise money and to get out of debt. So he says, go work hard, go start a side hustle, go raise your funds so that if this does drop, you are in the position to take advantage of it and start investing in housing. The fourth point is to stay away from syndications. This is a funny point because he is at least acquaintances, I'm not sure about friends, but at least acquaintances with Graham Stephan, who has a syndication with Ryan Pineda, basically saying, hey, give us your money and we're going to go invest it for you. So he's saying stay away from those. The management fees are crazy. You're going to be spending a lot of money on these fees. Basically, these guys that are telling you to invest are the ones who are going to get rich, and you're not going to really you're not really going to see returns on your money with this. And then his fifth point is to share his videos. So he really thinks the market's coming down. He wants other people to see that, and he basically, in my opinion, wants to sell his course, which he's out to make money too. So he's trying to sell his course. I'm sure there's value within that course, but he is going to want to sell his course during this time. And because it's uncertain, people want to know what's going to happen, and so they're going to want to get educated, aka buying his course. That leads us into kind of the conclusion of this video. Well, both guys are out pushing their points of views and also can make money with their point of view being said, and if people buy into that. Dave Ramsey, to start off his video that he had started, was go find an agent, right? And then he gives his referral network across the bottom of the screen, and he says, go to this website. We have a great seasoned agents who have seen the market forever, have done decades worth of transactions. Go find yourself an agent. Through that network, I guarantee you that he's making money. I don't think Dave Ramsey is pushing a false narrative. I don't think he believes that the market is going to go down, but still he has money to be made and people buying into his point of view. Therefore, buying and selling houses, having the real estate market kind of not fret over the real estate market and its uncertainty, and just he's basically saying this isn't going to be a blip on the radar in 10 years. It's just going to be something that, you know, you could barely remember back to. It's a normal market. House prices are not going to go down. He says, in fact, house prices are not going to go down for at least the next 5 years. So that's a bold statement, and he is going to be making money behind his statement. Again, as we just discussed, Kevin is also going to be making money behind his statement and his point of view because he is selling a course. He has a ton of courses, again, I'm sure that are very valuable and have knowledge within them and value to them, yet he makes money off of those courses. So he's going to be pushing those courses in the end. So in the comment section down below, let me know who you think is correct in their thinking. I've said this before in videos, the market is always right. People are always wrong. Obviously, one of these two are going to be wrong, and we can only really see what the Fed is going to do to continue this uncertain time or deliver us from this uncertain time. But yeah, that's basically kind of what I have to say. Obviously, I'm seeing personally buyers, less buyers on the market because it's less affordable. But I'm also seeing prices continuing to go up and still seeing prices over ask and multiple offers, which is still crazy in this market. So I am seeing the side where Dave is saying prices, you know, there's just so much demand and we've had so little supply for so long that, you know, prices can't go down. But I also get the facts of what Kevin is presenting, and theoretically, yeah, prices could go down, but it's only a matter of fact of by how much and when will that happen. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it informational at all, if you liked it, go ahead and like and subscribe down below. I'd love to see your opinion on what you believe, whether Kevin is right or Dave is right, and tell me why you think that either or is correct in their thinking. If you have any questions for me about the Arizona market, please don't hesitate to reach out. My information is down below in the description. My name is Rhodes with Team CR Realty, where Arizona real estate is seen.